Hello, and thank you for watching part 3 of building a chat app with Sockets.io and jQuery. This time we got to put things into a Git repo. If we want to play with the big boys, we have to use Git. So I'm going to do the first half of this with a little Git tutorial for not GitHub, just Git. I think maybe in the next one or the one after that, we're going to bring in GitHub. But for right now, it's just Git, and then we're going to keep building our front end out with some more HTML and CSS. And then next time we'll get into jQuery. So right now we've been wearing this badge but don't really deserve it. By the end of this lesson we will deserve this here badge. So let's start with the Git. So I had to remind myself of how, because how you start is you hit git init. I type in git init, but then I realized, wait, I have to show them how to install Git. So, and I had forgotten myself. So if you just look up install Git, not GitHub, Git for Mac. Okay, I'm using a Mac. If you're using a PC, do that. You're gonna find how to install it. Okay, I'm not worried about you finding a way to install Git. So enough about that. Once you install it, you type in, for example, git init, and that is going to initialize this folder. So from this folder down as a Git repository. And what a repository, so here we go. Ta-da! Initialized empty Git repository. And it is empty, but you're like, no, it's not empty. It has this, this, and this in it. Well, so what Git's going to do is going to keep track of my versions. So if I like what I've done, but later I realize I messed up, there's an easy way to roll back to a previous version. So here I'm going to git add app.js. Okay. So what did I said? Get this ready to add to my repo. And if I hit git status, it's always git something. Git status says, here's what you've added so far, but it's ready to be committed. It's like it's in the state. It's staged is what it's called. But I want to do all three. So what I could just do is say git add space dot, and that says add everything that needs to be changed. And it did it. Now if I hit git status, it says I have 3 guys that are waiting to be added to the repo. So I'm going to say git commit -m. -m is for the message. So like when I want to, if I want to say, oh, I want to roll back to a different version, I put a message here. And this is just going to be my initial commit. So if I want to roll back to my very first commit, that's that. You can get as creative as you want with these messages, and most versions of Git I've used force you to put a message in there. Actually, I'm not even sure if this version does. So, boom, I have committed 3 files to Git. So now I'm on the master branch. Okay, usually you don't roll back by commits. You make your master branch pristine, and you have other branches. So imagine it's a tree. And that trunk of the tree is perfect. And I'm like, I want to try something. I go out on a branch and I try it. And if I like it, that branch, say it grows back into the trunk, I can do that. So I'm going to check out a branch because we're doing a feature. The feature we're doing right now is pretty much layout. So I'm going to say git, because everything starts with git, check out, which really in this case means create -b. If I'm going to go to something that's already, I'm going to say check out a branch, and I'm going to give the branch a name of layout. That branch does not exist until I hit enter. If I want to switch back to master, I don't need the -b because it already exists. Okay, so now here I am. You didn't see anything change here, but let's say I make a change. I'm just going to delete those 2. I'm going to save it, okay, and now, and I'm going to commit it. Git commit dash m test commit. I have the hardest time naming variables and example change. So I'm changing something for an example. I can name this whatever I want. I can name this Bob. Anyway, okay. And if you see this pop up, it's because I have some sort of typo. Control, Command C, Control Q, Command Q, quit, cancel. I don't want to quit that. Control C. Okay, good. What did I mess up there? Oh, well, first of all, I didn't add my changes. Git add dot. So I just added my changes to I just made a change. So git commit dash m example. I'll just put example. So one file change, one insertion. Okay, so that's gone. You see it. Let's go back here, and I'm going to switch back to my other branch. Git checkout. I don't have to say dash B this time. Just layout. I'm checking out the layout branch. No, I'm on layout branch. I'm checking out the master branch. And here on the master branch, these two things still exist. I'm going to copy these, by the way, because I'm going to put them back there. Command C. And I'm going to go back to the layout branch. Git checkout layout. And if you, okay, and they're gone. I'm going to hit Enter Command V, put those back in there. Okay, so that is the demo. It took 7 minutes and 15 seconds or so to get that in. I was hoping I would do it in 5 because I don't like these going more than 10 minutes. But c'est la vie. Okay, so at the end of this lesson, I need to do a git commit. Please remind me. In the meantime, we're going to continue making basically this. We're going to make this part and this part. And then we're going to call it a day. Back over here. So inside of the chat wrapper, we're going to have two areas. We're going to have the messages. I'm going to call this the messages plural wrapper. The messages is where as things are typed in here, they'll go to here. But also, when other people that are in the chat room, when they enter something, things will magically appear in here. So all of the divs or whatnot that are in here, we're not going to create them now. They're going to show up programmatically. So that means we're going to just leave that like that. We'll give it some CSS, but that's it. For right now, though, I'm going to give it a border so we can see if we did it right. And then the other thing is going to be for the new message singular wrapper. So this is for where we type it in. Just to show you, that's this part, but it's the wrapper. It isn't the new message itself. The new message itself is going to be a text area. I'm just going to call it a text area. And it gives me these by default. I'm going to keep them all for now. And I'm going to add a class equals new message. New message. Now, this one I could probably target by text area because I'm pretty sure this is going to be the only text area on here, but you know, it doesn't hurt. On this new message wrapper, I'm going to give this a border for now, so we can see it's there. I'm not going to put a border around this. First of all, this thing that's inside of this new message wrapper is going to be the same size as the wrapper, and it's going to be obvious. This has its own color, so it's going to show up. So let's go over to the CSS, main.css, escape. And we just made something called messages wrapper, right? We made that. We made something called new message wrapper. And we made something called new. Okay. Let me tell you what's gone wrong with me before at this point right here. You see, I just went off of memory what I put here, and I think they're right. But what if, like, I made this plural and this singular? What if I did something like this and called this new messages wrapper? And then I give this a little something, and things just aren't looking right. And I keep tweaking it back and forth, and nothing's working. It's because I have the wrong name. So I'm just going to keep it in the back of my mind. If things aren't working the way I expect them to, I can come back to here. So this is going to have the width of 100%. In fact, they all are Command C, Command V, Tab, Command B. This is going to have a height. This is the messages, so that's going to have a height. We'll give this 80%. And remember, these have a border, so we're going to give it a box sizing border box. Box sizing border box. Because this 80% is going to have another 2% for those for the top and the bottom and the left and the right, you know, on the border. So this 80% plus the 20% we're going to use here would make it spill out of its parent container. So the new message wrapper, we're going to make that 20%. And this guy, actually, I'm going to leave this here. It's not going to hurt having it there. But his height is going to be 100%. The reason I don't need it there, here, I'll just take it out. The reason I don't need it there is because we didn't put a border on this new message. Okay. Also, we need some background color. The background color, let's put on the parent one, the wrapper. Is that what the parent was? Background color, and let's make it beige. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Okay, we're not on here. We're on here. Refresh. All right, okay. It looks pretty good, except for why is there a scroll bar right here? This tells me that something spilled out. Something doesn't fit, like I was talking about with that border box. And this is on this whole wrapper. That's not something we worked on today, but we're spilling out of that as well. All right, so let's clean those up really quick. Avatar. This one, I don't really want it to overflow. I think I copied this and pasted it here last time. I'm just going to put hidden there, and that's probably not the best way to fix this problem. You'll see that when I refresh it, this one's going to go away. Oh, they both went away. So the overflow is happening on that. All right. Oh, typing in here. First of all, I want this something to say pretty much what this says. Select an avatar to join the room. In fact, I'm just going to copy it. I think. Can't do that because that is an actual text. That's placeholder text. This is text. I could copy this. What I don't like about this right here is it's too small. I'll probably put some padding around this, and I'll probably put some padding around that too. Let's do those few things, then we'll call it a day. So there's the chat wrapper, the messages wrapper, padding 12 pixels. That's probably what I'll do on the other one too. On the new, not the new message wrapper, but in the actual new message, padding 12 pixels. I'm gonna have a font because you saw how small that font was. I'm gonna put that in here. Font size of 1.2 EM. EM is a measure that's, you can use this EM for lots of things, but it's actually spelling the letter M, and it's like 1.2 times the size of a regular M if it's, I don't know, but 1 M is the size of a normal letter. You can just look at what it looks like. But right now it doesn't say anything. We're going to give it some default text. Our text area right here, we're going to put in a placeholder, tab to autocorrect, and I'm going to say select an avatar to join the room. Because when I grew up, they were called chat rooms. I don't know if they're even called that anymore. I put an exclamation point there. I hope that doesn't feel like they're screaming at them. But if it does, we can always change it later. Refresh. Okay, select an avatar to join the room. I don't mind this text, but just for the sake of for the heck of it, I might change this text later. Not the text, the font. I might give this a different font as well. And notice that this isn't all butted up against here because we put that margin in. How do we know if the margin we put in right here actually is there? And I will show you. I'm gonna on a Mac, you double click. This is basically a right click. Double click it, and I hit inspect. And see how this lit up? I'm inspecting this element. See this green? I'll bring it back. Look around. There's going to be a green border right here. That's the padding. But if I want to specifically see what that looks like, I see. Look what lights up as I different. Here's the padding, which is 12 pixels on each side, and you see it very clearly. Here's the border. Here's the margin. There is none. The border is 1 pixel. Padding is 12 pixels. Then that part. This is called the box model, and it is a very, very, very useful way for debugging little problems you shouldn't have. You see this one doesn't have padding. You think, no, I think there's padding in there. In fact, this one has the padding. But, so here I just found a bug. Look at that. Look at that. The padding is sticking outside of the box. I don't like that. I do not like that, Sam I am. But honestly, okay, I'm going to fix this, and then I'm going to call it a day, because we're at 16 minutes and 48 seconds. This is padding of 12. This is font size. Will this solve it? This is a good test for this. Will that make this 12 pixels be part of this 100%? And it's actually 24 pixels because it's on both sides. Did I hit Command S to save it? Come back here, refresh it, inspect it, and that was a great example of why we like box sizing border box, because it's not spilling over the edge anymore. And that answers that question from last time, episode 2 or whatever, where I said I think this works with the padding, but I'm not sure about the margin. Well, now I'm positive it works with the padding. Still not sure about the margin though. Okay, so back here, we got our Git badge. If you need more help on Git, just watch that again. Oh, which reminds me, I have to commit my changes. Haven't got this yet. We've nailed these merit badges. Next time we're gonna be doing some jQuery, because what we're gonna do is, guess it was right here. We're gonna make it so when I type in a message here and hit enter, it doesn't just underline it. It puts that message right here. That's gonna be what we do next time. And that's gonna be using jQuery. Get that jQuery merit badge. Last thing. Git add dot git commit -m, and I'm going to added messages areas. I don't know. This doesn't mean anyone doesn't mean anything to anyone but me. So is that going to tell me next time what I need to see? I think so. Added messages area. 2 files changed, 29 insertions, 3 deletions. We are good. There's the button to end this thing. So thank you guys very much for watching.